Hey pals, Joeypals here and welcome to a new episode of Pokemon Investigations. In this series, we take a look at certain Pokemon within the Pokemon universe and try to figure out exactly where they come from. These episodes are always a two-parter though, as in part 2, we take those characteristics and transform the Pokemon into Fire Emblem units. This is part 1 of this episode, so don't worry about backtracking. But if you wish to watch episode 1, tap the little eye icon and there will be a button to take you there. Now, anyway, onto our Pokemon for today. When I was growing up, there were two things that captured my mind: space and diseases. One of my first video games was Dr. Mario, so the concept of science stuck early with me, but space has always fascinated me with how deep it is. However, what if we were to mix those two together? Sporting a sleek red body and sinister eyes, we have a fusion of disease and cosmos, Deoxys. Where exactly does this Pokemon come from, though? That's what we're looking to tackle today. When you look at Deoxys in its normal form, it's a rather peculiar thing, sporting two double helixes for arms, rather bulky legs, and a gemstone in the center. Based on the arms, the first thing that could pop into mind is DNA, and coupling that fact with Deoxys being the DNA Pokemon, and that Deoxys is mutated from a space virus as according to the Pokedex entries, that should be the end of it, right? Problem solved? Case closed? Not exactly. As easy of a note as that is, that explanation leaves many questions, specifically involving Rayquaza. If Deoxys was just DNA, why would Rayquaza be hunting it so specifically? That, my friends, is the main key into figuring out exactly what Deoxys is. Deoxys is somewhat similar to Elgyem and Behem, in the fact that both are alien-like, and therefore would not come from the Pokemon Earth. However, unlike Elgyem and Behem, whose main function in life is controlling the minds of its targets, Deoxys is a straight-up monster for the Pokemon world, being able to shoot lasers from what supposedly is its brain, as according to multiple Pokedex entries fused together, and the ability to wield moves such as Thunder, Ice Beam, Zap Cannon, Superpower, Extreme Speed, Focus Blast, Brutal Swing, and Dream Eater, just to name a few moves. Competitive prowess aside, where Deoxys' strength truly lies is in its behavior. As we see in the 7th Pokemon movie, there are two Deoxys, one with a green orb and one with a purple orb. Now, while the purple orb Deoxys may be the one destroying the buildings trying to find its friend, keep in mind that the green orb Deoxys came to the planet first, and was successfully put out of commission for a while due to Rayquaza. Again, Deoxys, as according to the Pokedex, is a mutated space virus, and Rayquaza is the protector of the atmosphere. It doesn't take much to put together that Rayquaza is trying to protect the planet from Deoxys, which leads me into the main discovery I found while simultaneously coming up with a theory. In Japanese mythology, there are creatures named Bakunomo, or in the common tongue, shapeshifters. These Bakunomo are able to take on the shape of just about everything, including the common examples of Kitsune, Tanuki, Mujina, and Bakaneko. A Bakunomo can refer to any bizarre figure, however, and last I checked, Deoxys doesn't exactly look like the ordinary. We know that Deoxys can transform into different forms, but how about different Pokemon? While Deoxys may not learn the move Transform, it is a mutated space virus that most likely is transferable, and thus we move into the theory portion. In the National Pokedex, we find two seemingly tacked-down Pokemon at the end of a Hoenn section right behind the Weather Trio, Jirachi and Deoxys. That order was not a complete accident though, as we now know how closely related Deoxys and Rayquaza are. However, that still leaves Jirachi in the middle, so how exactly does that make sense? Well, sit around for a moment and I'll be happy to elaborate. First, I'd like to point you to the physicality of Jirachi and Deoxys' attack. Three-pronged head, flowing features, and, if we think of Jirachi's tails actually being arms for a moment, 4 arms and 2 legs. The main linchpin here is both of their central features. As we've already discussed, Deoxys has an orb in the central part of its body, while Jirachi has a third eye. However, take a look at Jirachi's third eye and you'll see that Jirachi's eye is colored, as very visibly seen in the 6th Pokemon movie, Pokemon Jirachi Wishmaker, green, accompanied by blue head ribbons. Go back to the 7th Pokemon movie for a moment and remember that the first Deoxys had a green orb. Green eye, green orb, gotta be something there, right? What exactly does this all mean, though? Let me break it down for you. Keep in mind, this next section ahead is all my personal theory, and shouldn't be taken as 100% fact. Sometime in the past, Jirachi were able to be seen almost as commonly as the Route 1 Rattata. These Jirachi were very carefree and innocent, able to roam around and help the foster Pokemon at the time in their tasks. Eventually though, as conditions became unfavorable, their numbers dwindled. So, one of the last remaining Jirachi wished for a friend. That's when a meteor came down and wiped out most of the surrounding Pokemon, and out popped Deoxys. Thinking this was a friend that it had wished for, Jirachi moseyed on up to Deoxys and tried to make friends with it. However, this Deoxys was only here to try to eradicate any threat it could so that the rest of its kind could take over the planet. And Jirachi ended up being the perfect candidate. Before long though, Rayquaza swept in, trying to remove Deoxys from the planet before it could do even more harm. While Rayquaza was successful, Jirachi was implanted with a virus, and exiled soon after as to prevent the spread of a virus. That virus ravished Jirachi's body massively, leaving it much smaller than it was before, changing its available move pool to better match Deoxys, and changing the eye color so that when another Deoxys came, the first virus could be found. Even still, many people saw Jirachi as a pure wishmaker, mainly due to its star-shaped head. And thus, every once in a while when a human was around Jirachi when it woke up every 1,000 years, the human wished for a friend like Jirachi. First, these were Cleffa and Staryu, with Staryu retaining Deoxys' properties closest by sporting an orb, this time red while normal and blue while shiny, with those colors combined making purple, as well as its regenerative properties, while Cleffa and Clefairy sport Jirachi's star shaping and dancing around meteor sites. Other Pokemon created from this wish include Lunatone and Solrock, which were found by a meteorite site, and Minior, which looks like a miniature meteor. All these Pokemon share the move Cosmic Power, which boosts defenses and would be able to keep a virus well protected. All of these Pokemon have a very unique look to them as well, further playing into the fact that these Pokemon come from an entirely different strand of existence than anything natural on the Pokemon Earth. Rayquaza can be as successful as it wants in hunting down the second Deoxys. However, until the Jirachi that is remaining is eradicated, that virus will continue to spread and spread and spread until every Pokemon is affected. And with that, we have Deoxys' lore. Do you think the theory grabs at too many straws? Or perhaps not enough? Or do you think it's spot on? What do you think about Deoxys being based on shapeshifters? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more upcoming material. If you'd like to see my last Pokemon investigation, where I took a look at the Lake Trio, click on the box on top. And if you wish to see the Lake Trio as Fire Emblem units, click on the box on the bottom. Until next time, this is Joeypals, signing out.